Salesforce OWD. So OWD is nothing but organization-wide defaults. So OWDs are used to indicate the level of access. So basically organization-wide default is nothing but organization-wise, what are the defaults? What are the defaults and what is the level of access of the record? What is the level of access for the record in the organization? Yesterday we have seen the role, right? So based on the role, we have assigned the role to the each user. Right, after assigning the each role to the user, whatever the superior is created, everybody can see the record. But ideally, it should not be siblings and the subordinates should not be seeing the record. But here, everybody is able to see. Because the implementation has to be done, role plus OWD or OWD. So along with the role, OWD also need to play there. So OWD is organization by default, the level of access for the record in the organization. So basically it decides, OWD decides which record should be visible to whom. Which record visible to the whom? The organization. So it will be like a based on the role hierarchy, whether my hierarchy team should be able to see it or not, can be decided by the OWD. So in the OWD, we have a different options are available, like a private, public read only, public read write transfer, public full access, no access, use, view only, and controlled by parent. Controlled by parent. So these are the different level of access which are available on the OWD. So basically in the OWD, if we go to the OWD, so these are the options which are available. Now here, private, public read only, public read write is except the price book and a calendar, all the objects will have a private, public read only, public read write. Whereas campaign will have it like a public read write or a transfer. These will be available for the lead object and case object. And then also the campaign will have a public full access and no access, use, view only. These are the one which is for the price book. And controlled by parent is everyone can be able to see within the object. Like if I have any relationship, there is a relationship is implemented between the parent and child. When the relationship is implemented between the child and parent, then here if it is a master data relationship is implemented between the two objects, then immediately on the child object, it will show as a controlled by parent. It will show controlled by parent. Now, the navigation steps to view the OWD or what are the current settings are available. So you need to go to the setup and search for a sharing settings. When you search for a sharing settings, in the sharing settings, you will see one of the option is available here, organization by default. So do not search the OWD, search sharing settings. When you search a sharing settings, here you will see the organization by default. So in the organization by default, we can see all the access. So setup, search for here sharing settings. Go to the sharing settings. Have a sharing settings which are available here, organization wide. So lead level public read write transfer and case level also public read write transfer. Transfer is available only on two objects, lead and case. Other object it does not have a transfer. Now public read only, public read write, everything is available for. This is available for all the objects. Right, so here if you look at the organization by defaults, this is the object. It is going to show you all the standard objects as well as the custom object. And what is the default internal access? When you say internal access, internal is nothing but Salesforce. Whoever is logging into this URL, what should be the access for this internal access. External access is nothing but where we have some communities. In Salesforce, we can implement a community. So when we implement a community is nothing but they are not going to log into the Salesforce. It is a different part together. Using the credentials of Salesforce, they can log into the community. And in the community, we will share only few objects. So it is going to tell us that in the external system, like in the external, like what are the level of access do you want to give it? So private or a public read only, public read write, what is the level of access you wanted to give it? And similarly, we have a grant access using the hierarchy. Do you want to grant the access using the hierarchy or not? Now it will give the option grant access using the hierarchy. It will give the options here. Now by default, it is a disabled for the standard object. By default, it is disabled for the standard object. That means for the standard object, by default, assign it as per the hierarchy. Whatever the hierarchy is there, by default, assign it. Only this will be enabled for the custom object. Only this is enabled for the custom object. Let's say now yesterday we have logged in as a Eric, right? So yesterday what we have done is we have assigned the profile to the user. So whatever the Eric has created the record, this record is visible by, right? Eric is a CTO and below CTO we have a VP, right? CTO, whenever the CTO is created the record, everybody was able to see the record. So this is created by Eric. This is created by the Eric. Now if you see here this record, Eric Master. So it says that created by Eric Master. Now if I log out and let me show you the role. Now if I open the role, expand all. Now here CTO is there. So whenever the CTO is created, only CEO can see the record. Whoever is the manager, superior is there, only that person can see the record. CFO cannot see and COO also cannot see. VP also cannot see the record. Right? But right now what is happening, everybody was able to see. So whatever the CTO has created, if I try to log in as a VP, click on this login, VP. If I try to log in as a VP, is also able to see the record that is created by the Eric. But this should not happen. So what I'll do is I'll go to the sharing settings and at the OWD level, I'll change the account to private. I'll change the account to private. So whenever we change the private, when we change the account to private, ultimately the opportunity as well as the case will be changed to private. Opportunity and case will be changed to private because these are the dependent. So opportunity case right now it is a public read write and case is a public read write transfer. As soon as I change to the private, immediately the opportunity and case will become private. So whatever the settings are available on the account level, the same settings are available on the opportunity side also. On the opportunity side also. Now click on a save. Private is nothing but what will happen. A record is visible to only the record owner and his manager based on the role hierarchy. So private, there are multiple options are there. Private, public read only, public read write. So when I say private, private is nothing but it's only whoever is the record is created, only that person, owner of that record can be visible here. Or else the manager can see. Or else the manager can see. Right now, if CTO is created, only the CTO can see the record and whoever is the manager of this. The manager for the CTO is CEO. Now this person can be able to see the record. Now within the CTO, PP cannot see the record, should not be able to see the record. So other users cannot see the record. So that's the reason we keep it as a private. In the real time, most of the projects will have a private on the most of the objects because it is restricted. Whatever the records are created by the client, it is restricted that they should not be showing the record to the another user. Now, to make the record to be visible to other user inside the organization, we have to use the sharing feature. We have to use the sharing feature. Now let's see. Now I have made it as a private. Now let's refresh here. Account is private. Now if I log in as a Eric, Eric is created. Now I'm going to log in as a Sachin. Now Sachin should not be able to see the record. Sachin should not be able to see the record. The account is taking time. Just a second. User, let's log in as a Sachin. I logged in as a Sachin. Now if I go to the account, click on all accounts. They are not able to see any of the account records here. So whatever is created by the Eric, they are not able to see. Only this person will be able to see whatever the records were created by themselves, only those records will be able to see. So Sachin is not able to see the record that is created by the Eric. Now similarly, we have a CEO. So CEO should be able to see the record. And if I try to log in as a Purnima, so CFO, Purnima also should not be able to see the record. So Purnima is CFO role. So CFO and CEO both are the siblings. So the siblings also should not be able to see the reports that is created by other user. Now this is let me log in as this user, CFO user. So this user is able to see the Purnima's record. So Eric's record. So the reason here is if I go to the rows, about log in as a COO. Is not able to see the record of others. Right, same thing, Purnima also, they will not be able to see the records that is created by others. So it is taking some time to reflect it, but nobody should be able to see the record. So when we say private, only the two users will be able to see. Whoever is created the record owner able to see the record, as well as the manager will be able to see the, as per the role hierarchy, whoever is the manager is there, the manager should be able to see the records. That is about the private. Assignment like a CEO make it as a whatever the license, whatever the user is available, admin user, make that user as a CEO and create a new, what are the user you have created. So Salesforce platform license, you might be created Salesforce platform license users as well as the Salesforce license user, right? So what are the platform license users are there? So just assign the role CEO and COO as well as VP. So these three should have a Salesforce platform license user and CTO assign the Salesforce license user. Create a role hierarchy and then assign this role hierarchy to this user and make the account equal to private. OWD level, make the account equal to private. So what you do is try to create a record as a Virat Kohli and whoever is a Salesforce license is there, create a record as a CTO user and try to test it by logging into the CFO, COO and VP. Nobody should be able to see the record, only CEO should be able to see the record. So this is the assignments. So few interview questions like what are role properties and when do we use a roles? What are the navigation steps to create a role? And what are the different type of a roles? What is the difference between the profile and role? And provide the example for a role hierarchy. And they will ask you like what is OWD? What are the navigation steps to create a OWD? What are the options are available in the OWD? So I have provided few trailhead links and referral link. Now also I'll give you more assignment related to the OWD. So in the OWD, the assignments are, let's assume OWD level, make it as a account is set to private. And profile level, whomever you are testing it, same as like previously, what are the configuration is there? Same configuration, OWD set as a profile, set as a private, but profile level, what you do is just update the create, read, edit, delete, access, and view all. Remove the modify all. Now, same profile assigned to two users, user A and user B. Now just verify that user B is created a record and shared with user A. User A. Now when we say shared with, so what is this shared with? Now we need to talk about another concept which is called as a shared. Now let's talk about that first. Let's say here the users are, now it is restricted to the user. Nobody is able to see the record that is created by the Eric. When nobody is able to see the record, now suddenly this user is going for a vacation. Eric is going for a vacation and the person wants to handle the siblings, one of the client details. Assume that one of the client, very important client, and they have to close the deal or some discussion we need to do with that client. So he will not be available. That client will not be available tomorrow. So in that scenario, so he want their one of his siblings he wanted to he wanted to maintain that customer. So whatever the customer information is there, just wanted to pass it to the Rahul or Purnima. So they wanted to pass it to the Rahul. So how they can share the record? Right now it is restricted. OWD level it is restricted. Nobody can see the record. Now when we are going for a vacation, or when Eric is going for a vacation, or when the Eric is busy, we wanted to share certain records to the Rahul so that Rahul can look into those records on behalf of Eric. Now in that scenario, what we can do? So we have a concept called sharing mechanism. We have a concept called sharing mechanism. Now in this sharing mechanism, so let's say here we have a account object. We have a account object. In this account object, we are going to, in the OWD level, we set it to private. OWD level, we set it to private. And then after that, we have a sharing feature. Sharing feature. So in the sharing feature, in the sharing features, we need to specify here sharing mechanism, manual sharing, automated sharing, and Apex sharing. So there are 3 sharing mechanisms are available in the Salesforce: manual sharing, Apex sharing, and automated sharing. So first we will see the manual sharing. If you want to do the manual sharing, you have to go with sharing mechanism using the sharing button. Using the sharing button, you need to go through this. Now, using the sharing button, you can give a level of access to the other user, either read only or a read write. So you can give it to the single user. That means here Eric is created the record. So Eric is want to share the record to the Rahul, or possible that they wanted to share the record to the multiple users. Eric want to share the record to the multiple users. When the Eric is sharing the record to the multiple user, Eric can decide it what is the level of access that he wanted to give it to the Rahul, whether the read only or a read write to the single user or a multiple user. Right? So we can do it both the ways. Either we can do it single user or a multiple users. Now let's see for the single user, how can we do it? Manual sharing is we can share the record to the required users manually with the help of sharing button. So by using the sharing button, we can share the record to single user and multiple user. And we need to grant the access. The read only is nothing but if I give a read only, the whoever is the end user is there, the user will get only the read only access. If I say read write, they will get the edit access as well. They will get edit access also. Proper. Now we will see here. Let's go ahead and see. Now let me log in as a Eric. Say Eric. Eric. So here logged in as a Eric, click on this, the account, which are the account we wanted to share with others user. Click on that record and click here sharing. So there is the option called sharing button is available. So click on this sharing button. So once we click on the sharing button, it will ask you that do you want to share with another user, or do you want to share with public group, or do you want to share with the role and subordinate. Now if I say here share with user, now which user I wanted to share. So let's say I wanted to share with Rahul. I wanted to share with Rahul. Now what is the level of access we should be giving? Level of access is account access, read only or read write. Which access do you want to give? And at the account level, account is linked to the case and opportunity, right? So whenever we change the account to private, automatically case and opportunity change to private because those are tightly bound objects. Now, if I am giving a read only access here, do you want a case and opportunity, read only or a private or a read write? You can decide it. Now here it will show you that how many users we have shared. Right now it says one group of users. That means whoever is the record is created, only that person is able to see the record. Right, so here we have a read write access. Now if I share with this Rahul, click on save. Now I have shared the record with Rahul. Now again if I click on a sharing button and if I view the details here, two group of users is shared. So what is the two group of users? One is the Eric, whoever is the record is created. Second person is Rahul. We have shared the read-only access at the account level. So right now, two users has the access. Now click on this logout. Now let me refresh. And now let's log in as a Rahul. I click on this login. Account and go to the all accounts. Go to the all accounts. Click on this all accounts. And right now Rahul is able to see the Eric. Whatever the Eric is shared, the record, only this person is shared. Now, whatever the shared records are there, it is shared with Rahul. Now, again, Rahul can share to the another person. No, we cannot share it. So here, what is the record? Record is created by the Eric. Record is created by the Eric. Eric is shared the record to the Rahul. When Eric is shared the record to the Rahul, Rahul cannot share the record to others. It is not possible. Only we can do the sharing if we have created the record. If Rahul creates a record, only the Rahul can share the record. Now, whatever the shared record is there, now again Rahul cannot share the record. In case if Rahul creates a new record in the account, let's say I'm going to create a new record in the account, online customer. Now let's say here, I'm creating another one which is called as a Rahul sales. Now type a phone number. I'm specifying some number here. Type equal to prospect and industry equal to some banking. And let's say account number. I'm specifying some account number. Click on save. Now, right now, this record is created by Rahul. This record is created by Rahul. Now we can see the sharing button. Now we can share the sharing button. So whoever is the owner of the record, only that person can able to share the record. If it is already shared with, now this Eric is shared with Rahul. Now in this case, account owner is Eric. Account owner is not a Rahul. So it is shared with this record. Now if Rahul try to update this record, now it is updating the warm to cold. Now click on it, save. It will give an error saying that you do not have access to the you do not have access to necessary privileges because Eric has given only the read access. Eric has given only the read access. So that's the reason the user is not able to edit the record. Now if I go back to the login as a Eric, let's refresh here again.
For example, I have a question here, Swapna. For example, if Eric has created one record and he has given sharing access to Rahul. Now Eric has created second record. Now that second record also, that sharing access, is it applicable to that second record? Or again, he needs to share that second record access also to Rahul.
He need to share again. It's a single record. Only one record the person is able to see.
For example, if Eric has to create some 100 records like that. So in those scenarios, like how
Yeah, we will see
he
that.
has to,
Yeah,
okay.
we will see. Right now we are seeing for the one record. So let's log in as a Eric. Right now he has given the read-only access. So that's the reason Rahul is not able to edit. Now let's click on a sharing button. I wanted to modify the whatever the previous access is there. I wanted to modify the previous access for the Rahul. So read, right, click on this save. Now it is updated, log out. Here we have it, log into the Rahul. Now click on the account. Now go to the Eric. Now Rahul is opening up the Eric account, and right now Rahul is having the edit access. Rahul is having the edit access. Now Rahul can modify the record. So here in this case, it says created by the Eric and modified by the Rahul. This is for the single record. You can share the using the manual record. You can share the single record. So that means you need to do the individual record level. You need to share the manual sharing will be like in each record. You need to go to the single record and share the single record to the another person. And what is the level of access you want? You can specify the level of access. And this on records, that is a public and private read only access on the OWD. Now let's take an assignment here for the manual sharing. Now assignment is create a role hierarchy. This is the role hierarchy created. Assign the PTO CEO to the Salesforce license user. Assign CTO and CEO to the Salesforce license, and rest all three are should be the Salesforce platform license. And similarly create a assignment like a OWD, make it account is a private, create an opportunity. Now, when we have a Salesforce platform license, now you have a Salesforce platform license like this, right? So Salesforce platform license does not have a flexibility to give the opportunity. Right? By try to log in as a Rahul. Right? Try to log in as a Rahul. Now here, we do not have a flexibility to view the opportunity. So Salesforce platform user does not have access to view the opportunity, right? So because we are assigning the default profile, which is called as a Salesforce platform license. In case if you want an opportunity, now you need to create a new profile, which is a copy of Salesforce platform. So you need to create new profile, which is a copy of the Salesforce platform license profile, and then give a opportunity access, then you can access the record. Now here in this case, if you are assigning the platform licenses, which are the custom profiles, you need to create a custom profile, which is a copy of the Salesforce platform license, and create an opportunity record by logging into the CTO user. CTO user is Salesforce license. This is Salesforce license. Salesforce license will have a access to the opportunity. Now you need to create a new profile here, CFO, COO, VP. Create a new profile, which is a copy of Salesforce platform license, and enable the option which is called as a opportunity object. then assign those profile to the Salesforce few users. And instead of assigning the standard Salesforce platform license, assign the custom profile here. Now just cross verify it. Now create an opportunity by logging into the CTO and log in as a CFO, COO, and it should not see the opportunity record that is created by the CTO user. And the third one, update a opportunity. Now here also create an opportunity by logging into the CTO user and log in as CFO, COO. This is the same thing. Now, in this case, they should not be able to see. So what you need to do is CTO user manually share the record to the CFO and COO read access. That's about the few assignments on the manual sharing. Now, similarly, we have a few other assignments. So you should try this. Now create a profile. Now in the profile, just give a create, read, edit, access, and view all access. And do not enable the modify all. Now check user B and user A should have the same profile. Now check user B created record shared with user A. First of all, whatever the user B is created, user A should not be able to see the record. User A should not be able to see the record. Now user B manually has to share the record to user A. Now when it is shared, user A can see and edit the record of user B. That means you need to give the access, level of access, just create a read write. Now, my question here is, when you have a read-only access, when you are sharing a manually record, when we have a read-only access, what user A can do it? When you do not give the modify all, when you do not give the modify all at the profile level, what user can perform it? When user has like a read-write access, when we do not have a modify all, so what user can do? So both the scenarios you need to check and write on the observation here. Early scenario 2. In the scenario 2, do not give the view all and modify all. Do not give view all and modify all, except every scenario is the same. And just cross verify when you have an access level read only, what is happening on the record, what is happening on the record, whether the user A is able to view the record and modify the record or not. When you give a read write, what is happening, not on the observation. Whether user A is able to edit the record, modify the record, can update the record or not, just cross verify when we do not give a view all and modify all. What is happening on this? Next one is in this scenario, do not give access to the view all and also profile level, right? So Salesforce license. So profile level, do not give the edit read-only fields. Whatever the read-only fields are there, edit the read-only fields, uncheck. So both are having a different profiles here. Both are having a different profiles. Maybe the user A is a Salesforce license, user B is a another license. So edit read-only fields, uncheck. What are the edit read-only fields are there? Uncheck this. And user B is created the record and shared with user A. Now, what is the user A can perform it when the level of access is read-only, when the level of access is read-write. And the next one, we have a scenario 4. Almost same. Scenario 4 is do not give access to the view all and modify all. Both are having the same profiles, and there are two record types are there. In the account level, two record types, offline and online. User B has the access to the both the record types, and user A has the record only offline record type user A has. Now in this scenario, user B is created with a record of online record type. So user B created the online record type and then shared with user A. Shared as a read-only access read write. Now, whether the user B, whatever the user B shared the record to the user A. Now, what should happen to the user A? Does user A is able to see the record that is created by the user B, because user A does not have a record type access of online. Now, whether user A is able to see the record or not. User A is able to see the record. Now here I said same profile, but different access. Now how do you apply a different access? You need to create a permission set here. You need to create a permission set. Profile should have a just only offline access, and in the permission set, you have a additional access online. You have a additional access online. So this permission set you need to assign to the user B. User A simply have a only one profile. Now check what will happen to this kind of a scenario. Note down the observations. So these are the couple of OWD option scenarios.